Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. I hope everyone is doing well. And we're going to check out a lot of cool things with Tom Lee, talking about this week being the bottom for the ETH pullback. Rackham Shell has a much bigger pullback in mind for crypto. We'll check that out later on as well. We're going to talk about obviously the ProveX sacrifice. I think we're coming up on day 6, is it? I think it's pretty close day 6. So we're coming up end of day 6 results, I think. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the big players at the top of the leaderboard, some of the drama around that. So I hope you guys enjoy that. It's going to be pretty cool. What else? Obviously, crypto's on a pullback. PulseChain's on a pullback. We're going to talk about it all. I hope you guys enjoy. Crypto Dan in the house there. Hey, Superman. Good to see you, Crypto Dan. Big shout out. And don't forget to share the show on X. That's all we can say. So let me post that link. That is the link there. So if you're on X, just take a moment, hit the repost button, and let's get ready to rumble during the live stream here. Let me just set up a few other things here. I think that would be cool. All right. Without further ado, let's kick off, and we're going to quickly go through the stock market. It is, I guess, Monday, isn't it? Monday's results. So let's quickly go through that. And then we're going to go into crypto, PulseChain, and deep dive into that. So hope you guys enjoy. What else? If you haven't joined the socials, Discord links in the video description. Also pinned to the top of X as well, if you want to check that out. But let's get into Monday's results for the stock market and check that out now. Let's go. All right, so we've got the S&P 500 falls as bullish bets on AI trade call. Now, I did tell you for the last couple of weeks about the NVIDIA results are due on the 19th. That is very, very significant because the whole AI story is rallying the market. And obviously, of course, NVIDIA's at the head of the pack with the Blackwell chip and the big revenue. So I think they're looking at 50 billion for the quarter as the target. So they obviously want to meet or beat the expectations. Probably beat if we're going to get a big further rally for the quarter. But we've got the Dow Jones anyway at the moment is down 1.2% at 556 points to 45,600. We've got the S&P 500 is down 0.9%, 61 points to 6,672. And the Nasdaq there down 0.84%, 192 points to 22,708. So obviously back down on the Monday. We're hoping for a nice little green open, but we've got a bit of nervousness going into the NVIDIA announcement. US dollar is up slightly, 0.25% to 99.45 versus the trading partners. Let's go to the commodities. West Texas at the moment, $59.68, so just below $60. And we've got Brent oil there, $64 flat. Gold at the moment is $4,045, down 1.2%, $50 almost. And silver there is at $50, holding on, but it's down 64 cents today, down 1.25%. That is where we are at the moment. NVIDIA earnings dominate this week, and of course we talked about being one of the key 4 events, right? So we had the government shutdown, we have the emergency tariffs for the Supreme Court yet to come, as far as I'm aware, and then we have NVIDIA on the 19th, and that's a big deal, right? That is really a big deal. So that's coming up, and then of course the interest rate cuts on the 10th of December. The other thing, of course, with the government now open, so that was one out of the 4, so that's ticked to the upside, and now we're going to get that data that we're expecting, right, around employment, around inflation. So that's going to play into our December's interest rate cut. So we'll keep a lookout for that. So at the moment, turning to the corporate sector, the main event this week is NVIDIA's earnings. This will be at the close of Wednesday, which will be Thursday my time. And analysts after the close, actually. So we should know it by Thursday. Analysts expect the company to post another bumper quarter, but expectations are riding very high that given the artificial intelligence bellwether's massive $5 trillion valuation. NVIDIA was at the heart of a sharp sell down in tech stocks through late October and early November, as investors questioned the AI fuel spike in tech valuations. Cautions over NVIDIA were furthered by filings over the weekend showing the billionaire investor Peter Thiel offloaded his nearly $100 million stake in the semiconductor giant. Beyond NVIDIA, there are also earnings from major retailers, including Target and Walmart. So that is some of the stuff we're expecting at the moment. Now, as you know, Tom Lee talks about the fact that the forward earnings, I think it's about 25, 26x forward earnings for NVIDIA, and that is still quite a discount compared to some other big corporates up there, up around 50x. So I think Target's one of those. So I think there's a lot of upside there. So yeah, that's the big deal there for the stock market. They'll also flow into crypto, right? So that could be our turning point on the 19th there. So keep a lookout for that. Let's have a quick look at the Fed rate monitor to see where interest rates are for the interest rate cuts. We've got 3 weeks to go, so still a bit of time. 1 day and 20 hours, and on the 10th of December, we've only got a third of the market expecting a rate cut at the moment of 25 basis points, 36%. 64% expecting a no rate cut at the moment on December. So we obviously, hopefully, the data comes out and supports a reversal of that, and we get another rate cut there. We are in a rate cut cycle, but having a big gap in the road, it's not that helpful, particularly for us in crypto. We want the markets to really rally, all the inputs into that. At the moment, we've still got a 49% expectation of a rate cut in January, though, and that's the 3.75. And also confirmed there in March, with only 28% expecting a further 25 basis point cut down to 3.5 by March next year. So depending on the data that comes out from the government, we'll see what happens in December and January, see whether that all shifts around, right? That's the play. All right, we're not expecting too much inflationary pressures there, and of course Trump there just lowered the tariffs to a lot of food imports, and what New Zealand's obviously benefiting from that. So that's some of the things that we're expecting there to play in. All right, let's jump over to crypto next. Before we do that, though, let's say hello to a few people in the chat. We've got Christos in the house there. Hello, Superman. Hey, good to see you, Christos. Feels like it's been a little while, but great to have you in the chat there. We've got Blair. Blair's a regular for sure. Hey, all. Good to see you, Blair. Big shout out. And welcome to the chat also. All right, let's kick it into crypto. So we had a bit of a pullback for the Monday. We're hoping for a bit of a green day. Well, we've also got a bit of a pullback for crypto, so no surprise there. We've got total market cap at the moment, 3.199 trillion. Super small market cap for crypto, down 1.9%. We've got Bitcoin at the moment is down 1.1%, $92,000. We've got Ethereum at the moment down 1.1% at 3,016. It did briefly pop below 3,000, so quite a little pressure there. But we did have that liquidation event a couple of weeks back, and now we've got this pullback as well. So hopefully that's a bit of a flush out before we get that next big hyper rally, right? That next big move, and it could be pretty aggressive. Could be pretty aggressive there, depending on who you're asking. Of course, people have different opinions on where it's going. Number 4 is XRP, down 1.2% at $2.15. BNB at number 5, down almost 1% at $903. Solana there is number 7, down 3.4%, $130. Tron at number 8 is down 0.1% at 29 cents. And then finally, number 10 is Doge, down 2.5% at 15 cents. Those are our top 10. Best performer is obviously Tron, doesn't really tend to move too much. It's only down 0.1%. Best performer also would be Tron, also only down 0.1%. But, the rest of the market's down pretty heavy for the week. I mean, Bitcoin's down 13.5%, Ethereum's down 16%, XRP down 16%, BNB's down 9%, Solana's down 22% for the week, and Doge is down 16%. Some pretty big moves to the downside there this week, and that's wiped off a lot of valuation of the markets. So that's kind of where we are right now. Looking at the top 100 over the last week, we've got Zcash up 11%, 12%, Aston up 8.5%, Monero up 4.6%, Leo up 0.6%, and Stirrup there up 0.2%. So not a lot of movement there in the top 100. Top 1,000 gainers, we've got Sailor Moon up 426%, Maxi Dodge up 120%, and Janction, I think it said, 41% there in the top 1,000. Trending is Maxi Dodge, Sailor Moon, and Bitcoin. Those are trending at the moment. So a bit of a bloodbath there, Now, I don't know what page this is. Oh, we've got Tom Lee. So we're going to listen to Tom Lee here. So, let's listen to what he says. He's basically saying that, this is probably the bottoming week for the Ethereum. So pick up some while you can if you believe him. Go for gold. We got Serge in the house there. Reposted the stream. I appreciate that. Big shout out. Thank you very much. We've got Sean O'Malley as well. Morning all. Good to see you, Sean. Hope you're doing well also. Big shout out there. And Sean says every day closer to glory. Absolutely, Sean. Absolutely there. These dips are really good for people that thought they missed out and get another chance. Now, Tom Lee's going to be buying a lot of crypto, and he is buying a lot of crypto at the moment. So, yeah.
And personally, I think that we're pretty close to bottoming this week.
What makes you stay bullish?
Well, there's the story of building on Ethereum, and we know that there is a lot taking place. There are stablecoin creations. Larry Fink and BlackRock and Wall Street want to tokenize assets, bring stocks, bonds, real estate onto the blockchain, and they have to find a neutral 100% uptime blockchain. That's Ethereum. And that's the fundamental story. The price, of course, for Ethereum will fluctuate because crypto is hyper volatile. In fact, it's kind of it's sort of a feature of the blockchain itself. And I think we've been in a downtrend, unfortunately. A lot of folks are kind of questioning if we're in a 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. So we talk about that in the chairman's message we published this morning, that the most correlated factor to Bitcoin prices when you see it at Bitcoin at a peak actually is the ISM. So I think we're still in a correction phase of crypto. Crypto suffered from that liquidation event on October 10th, but because the fundamental story is intact and we crypto discounts the future, that's why it's volatile, but it still looks pretty attractive here. And personally, I think that we're pretty close to bottoming this week.
Time for Ethereum, because you've got this general market risk-off mentality. So what are some of the idiosyncratic elements that we should be thinking about as it pertains to Ethereum in the meantime?
Well, Ethereum kind of has several ways that it establishes a floor. One is that the value of all the assets locked onto the blockchain, and that number is growing. But historically, Ethereum bottoms when that ratio is about 50%. So I'd say we're pretty close to that level. That's why I think Ethereum probably is bottoming this week. But the other way to look at Ethereum is really its price ratio, or even its network value ratio to Bitcoin. It currently sits at, this number is 0.032. The long-term average, like the 8-year average, if we were just to trade to that 8-year average, would put Ethereum at around 12,000. So I think Ethereum is undervalued because, number one, the story is gaining relative to Bitcoin this year. But two, we're getting this sort of intrinsic floor because of the value that the assets locked onto the Ethereum blockchain.
All right. Tom Lee saying that Ethereum.
All right, so that is Tom Lee, and saying this week could be the bottom of the move. So we'll see how the prediction goes. Obviously, he's been one of the best predictors of where the market's heading, generally speaking. So that is where we're at. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin, where it is right now. So we can see we're at $91,923. Now, remember this because we're going to talk about Rack and Michelle's expectation about this some time back. So we're at 91,900. We've got the 50-day at the moment at, so it's the weekly candles, I must say it. We've got the weekly candles for the 50-week average is at 100,420, 200-day at 66,224, and we're currently at 91,900. We're kind of at this previous support line back here in February, and that's kind of where we are right now. So we kind of want to hold this area and get a bounce from there. Now, others have us going down into the 70,000. Rack and Michelle's one of these people. That would be down this next level here. So this level here, 70. And he was even hoping for 50, right? So 50 would be quite dramatic. 50 would be down here. So, we did have support that area. So rather than the top, he's talking about the bottom of the previous move in September last year. So that is on the weekly. Moving to the daily quickly. You can see that we've got this death cross coming out, happening at the moment on the daily. So not looking good there. That would certainly support Rack and Michelle's move to 70K potentially. So yeah, that's where we are right now. So we're obviously on pretty pretty tender hooks here, and we'll see what happens here. We have defeated the death cross twice back here in April. I think 3 times actually back here in September, and also back here in October. So we actually defeated the death cross 3 times, but this looked like we're going to dip below here at the moment unless we get a bit of a pullback from that NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA may be the catalyst for that this week, and that would help us push it off. But I think we are actually going to dip down a little bit there, but whether it's a little bit of a fake out and then we go back to the upside is I guess the bullish scenario there. We got Check My Pulse in the house there. Good evening, Superman. A big shout out. Welcome to the chat also. All right, so that is Bitcoin, and let's move to Ethereum. And Ethereum right now, obviously Tom Lee was just talking about that. He thinks it's probably bottomed out this week. And we kind of got Ethereum's quite a different picture from Bitcoin. It's not Bitcoin's obviously had a pretty big rally, although not the minimum probably 3x that we expected so far from the all-time high, which would be the 150k mark or minimum. So I think we've still got another run or two in the house for that. At the moment, of course, we're at $3,000 for Ethereum, right in the middle of this zone, and we're still on the weekly, still quite a bit away from the 200-day there. 200 week, I should say. So the 50 weekly average is 3,330. The 200 weekly average is just below 2,600, and we're at 3,019 at the moment, holding on. So the low of the day has been 2,955 at the moment here on Coinbase. Let's go to the daily and see where we are there. So Bitcoin already crossing over that death cross, but Ethereum hasn't quite got there yet. We've got 50-day moving average at 37.32, the 200-day at 35.69. So we've still got $160, $70 difference there, and we've currently at 3,018. And we don't have really a lot of obvious horizontal support. A little bit back here in November. So yeah, we're sort of in price discovery mode there. We do have a little bit of choppiness around this price back in July. So we'll see what happens here. And yeah, maybe NVIDIA is the one that's going to turn the events here. And of course, as Tom Lee said, the ratio there to, or at least the ratio there to Bitcoin. So they're at 3,019 at the moment on the old Ethereum. I think that was that the last one I was going to say? Yeah, no, we're going to talk about this one here too. So we do have some good news as well, in addition to NVIDIA potentially being good news this week, is the US Regulatory Clarity Act coming down the line. Now, obviously, we're all big fans of the Genius Act. That does take a little time to play out. But we've got the Coinbase CEO here says the crypto market structure bill is nearly done for the Clarity Act, with only circa 10% left before it clears committee by Thanksgiving. If passed, this could end regulation by enforcement and replace it with real workable rules for crypto, clear token taxonomy and compliance paths, proper market oversight for spot trading, and transparent disclosure and custody standards. The impact unlocks sideline capital, keeps startups building in the United States, and fuels innovation without legal chaos there. So it's a little bit there from CEO Brian Armstrong. So
yeah, well, we had great meetings with the Democrats in the Senate and on the Republican side today. And the good news is that there's strong bipartisan support and will to get this market structure legislation done. It's important for America, and the 50 million Americans who've used crypto want to see it get done. And so one date we heard floated was, let's try to get this markup done before Thanksgiving. I think that there's 90% of the issues are already aligned on and agreed, and there's draft text going back and forth, a lot of great cross-functional collaboration happening. That last 10% are the remaining issues, and everyone committed to get in the room together and work it out, and hopefully we'll see some draft text or get it out of committee by Thanksgiving. Yeah, well, we had.
All right, so that's about, I think, about 9 days away from here. So yeah, we'll keep a pace on that, but that is potentially good news. We're looking for more good news potentially coming out of the White House as well, and of course the executive branches. All right, so that is pretty much our crypto news. So not great in terms of obviously stock market down, crypto down. The big catalyst this week will be NVIDIA. That is the mega thing in front of us. And so yeah, we'll keep watching out for that. And if Tom Lee is right, we've bottomed out. That's kind of where we are looking at the moment. We've got Paul C in the house there. Says, I must admit I was in PulseChain and PulseX, sold out long time ago. They do look worth a crack now at these prices, says Paul C. So there we go. We're going to talk about PulseChain now. So let's get into that. Can you believe it? Day 920. I can't believe it. So far since we launched on the 30th of May. And here we got PulseChain, day 920. We've got Pulse at the moment at $204. So it's just below our second support line. And we've got down 4.44% at 20% of this mean sacrifice price. We've got PulseX at the moment and not just the mean sacrifice price, but just half of the whale price of quadruple 4100. So Rack and Michelle's level, we're even half below that. So I mean, it's not profitable at that rate. We've got PulseX at the moment, quadruple 131, down 3.9%, 13% in the mean sacrifice price. So what an absolute bargain. So Paul, I think you might be right about that. We got the buy and burn has crept up a little bit. 8.12%. We've got INC at 86 cents right now. We've got Hex on PulseChain at an incredible discount right now, down at 4,300 of a penny, down 5.72%. Apparently there's a big wallet out there too with 4 billion Hex moving around. We've also got EHEX down dramatically from 1,300 of a penny from yesterday down to 1,100 of a penny. So that's a big move. Combined price of EHEX and PX is at 5,400 of a penny. So really, only just slightly above half a penny, really. So quite the discount on the old Hex there at the moment. Gas prices at the moment, 350,000 beats, pretty normal what we're seeing in these days. 3/10 of a penny for a PulseX swap. Looking at the validators, 51,997. So that's gone down by about 250, I think, from memory from yesterday. So it's quite a bit of a move down there. So we've obviously got some validators exited there, quite a bit. The bridge at the moment, 83.4 million. So we've come down quite a bit there. But of course, EHEX has been the main culprit there, coming down to 1,100 of a penny. And we're now at 11.6 million. Now, I do have a snapshot, of course, from the other day. From the, what day? The 16th. So about 2-3 days old. And we're actually up on the ETH. What about the DAI? We're down on the DAI about 310,000. USDC, we're actually up about 200,000 on the USDC. So that's about 100K or so. We've got Hex was at 13 mil. We're now at 11.6, so we're down 1.4 million on that. USD Tether was 5.3. We're at just slightly above that now, 19,000. So ETH is up, but EHEX dragging us down quite a bit there, and obviously the prices as well. All right, so that is the mark there. So if we could look at PulseChain stats, and we're going to pull up the bridge started there. I should have had this ready, but just the way it is sometimes. Stats, and we're going to go have a look at what stats here. Bridge stats, bam, 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 and bridge stats are loading. It says it right there. Bridge stats loading. We are loading right now. All right, so we're actually up on the bridge today, guys. So that's good on the UTC timestamp. So we're up $250,000. So that's kind of cool. Total inflow 864K. Total outflow is 615K. So we're up $248,000. And does look like what's driving that really? USDC. USDC is driving that. So it's kind of where we are right now. And that's going to bring us into the total volume right now. So 11.6 million. It's almost like a weekend, right? At this sort of level. This is weekend level volumes. And here we are on Monday, Tuesday. So that's kind of where it is. We've got the total transactions at 347,000 at the moment. We've got a token from 2 days ago and on there. Now, I'm not endorsing any of these tokens. Of course, you guys know I covered the top 100 trending, and just what it is up there. Always do your own due diligence, not financial advice, all that good stuff. It's up 24% today. GoPulse sitting at 6.2 cents, is up 11.7% right now. And we got Volt there at up 5% as well. So Volt they're bucking the trend, and the chart looking coming off the bottom there, not too bad. We are expecting it to Volt 369. Apparently, Faster Abdul says it's coming soon. Not aware of anything particular that's come out for that, but we're going to have a quick check. See if he's got anything out there. Now, he posts a lot, so I mean, it could be Could be all sorts of things. Wouldn't it be cool if one token could be a staking token for multiple high-end DeFi protocols? Yeah, that would be cool. Vault 369. So apparently it's going to have more, potentially more than just Vault 369. Could be used for multiple DeFi. That's quite a little alpha drop there from Fast Abdul. We know he is working on multiple protocols as well. He talks to a lot of teams, so it's probably a bit of meat behind that. A bit of meat behind that. So yeah, that is where we are. I'm just looking through a few other things here. Nothing else really there at the moment. So yep, it's looking reasonably good. 00067, and the protocol is not launched, and looks like it potentially is going to be used for other DeFi. So there we are, a little bit of alpha drop there from Fast Abdul. All right, so maybe that's the tip of the day. Maybe it is. We've got Ink at the moment, holding on to 86 cents. That's up slightly green as well. Sold Sun Minimum, which had a big, bit of a decent little correction yesterday, I think it was, is climbing back up the last couple of hours. So look at the daily there, just below 5 cents, holding on there. You had a nice little rally, then sell off there. So that is Sun Minimum. We know that is expected to go over to Solana chain, and probably because Floyn was meddling in it, probably is my guess. we got everything else is pretty much out as in the red, but we have to do UFO. UFO is obviously outperforming Pulse at the moment. It's only down slightly. Fetrocal also only down slightly there. Doubt token down slightly. So a few of these will be slightly beating PulseChain at the moment. Time dividend was doing relatively well. It's just come down back a little bit now, down 2%. So down 2% on that. That's where the chart is. So obviously, up and down, up and down, up and down. I mean, this is doing very well, generally speaking, but, it's probably hurt just like the rest of PulseChain with the low PulseChain prices, right? So PulseChain being low, it's impacting that. So, PulseChain rallies this thing, I think, and Internet Money will hyper pump. It'd be one of the ones that really get repriced. Doubt token down a little bit, 2.7%, and everything else is pretty much down, isn't it? So everything pretty much down. Some things worse than others. So we're going to go all the way down the bottom here, and check down on what's down the bottom here. So we've got SolidX down here at 79 cents. We've got SCADA down here 28% at 2,600 of a penny. Bria down here at 1,800 of a penny, waiting for 18,000 of a penny, waiting for the Coinwell to launch probably in all those ecosystems. So still waiting for Rack and Michelle there. X Game down as well at 1,600 of a penny. And so we'll just wait to see where Firewall goes from here. What else we got going? We got Sparta down here at the moment, 2.3 cents, down 13%. Waiting for Hex to move, right? Hex has to move there, I think. And Pulse as well. Peacock there. Peacock was holding up before the live stream. Obviously, it got sold down a little bit there. They had their awesome launch, of course, of the DAI pairs yesterday and the wrapped ETH, but it looks like there's been some volume selling in here. So somebody decided to trigger that off. So it's just what it is. Happens in markets. So a little bit cheaper there at 9/10 of a penny right now. So we'll see where that goes. But, they've been delivering, haven't they? They've been delivering pretty well. Now, the big thing coming up for Limbo Swap, of course, is in 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks, I guess, slightly less, is the, the Railgun is coming. So that's huge for PulseChain, and that's coming within that time period. And then, of course, also the ProveX sacrifice. They're going to do 15 days, as I understand it. So that will be on day 6. So 6 less 21, 15. So that probably starting today, if I'm right about that. And we might check that out later on if we have a little bit more time. When we get to the ProveX sacrifice, we'll double back around there. So that's at the moment. Hex, obviously, we covered all that. Everything's slightly discounted. Some of the better ones, of course, doing slightly better, like INC, PulseX, Pepe, and things like that. So that's kind of where we are for PulseChain. Not too much to say today. Just pick off the bargains while you can get them. That's probably the only thing to say there. Now, next thing we're going to do is get into ProveX. Of course, day 6. Wrapping up that now. You guys know Richard. So we've still got about 3 hours to go before the end of the day, I believe. So for day 6, I'm going to get into the sacrifice here and have a look at where we are at right now. Let me refresh it here. And obviously the sacrifice there for ProveX. sacrificing for a political statement, as usual. We got Paul C says, is there any more news about Richard Hart streaming? I don't believe so. Good question, though. Let's quickly have a quick look. I don't think so. It was supposed to be 1 or 2 days, but he's been putting out things about marketing and websites and things like that, giving away new prizes. So he's obviously taking his time there a little bit. Let's see what he's got here. It's been definitely one thing Richard's been doing is definitely been very active on X, which is cool to see. It's great. So it's leading up to it, isn't it, Paul? Leading up to it. All right, let's kick back into the Richard Hart. So Richard Hart here, the last couple of 18 hours here, he's got stuff about dating or something like that in here. I think it is. I'm not sure whether it's an analogy for something else or it's just on dating. But that is Richard there. What else there? He says 2 hours ago, turns out people are real sensitive to during 40% dips. And then 1 hour ago, he talks about tired of all the same stuff, want something actually new, check out ProveX.info, some info. So there we go. What else there? Mr. ProveX token only becomes more rare. It never inflates. It only burns. Mr. Prove is automatically bought and burnt every time someone uses private prover tech. Presumably the tech's actually completed. Hopefully people don't really want to wait another 2 years for something like that. So hopefully that's the case. The first industry Mr. Prove is disrupting is cryptocurrency exchanges. Crypto was invented to remove middlemen. So that's the place there. That's kind of the backdrop of what we're doing right now. What else are we going to say about that? So yeah, we're not going to go through all that. We have been through all this lists of applications. TLDR, blockchain solve double spends with mining and validating the on-ramp to new users with coins. Mr. Prove or now ProveX and private prover tech amplifies blockchain utility by removing the middlemen that make crypto so hard. Then it can disrupt and disintermediate so many other industries. Every use of the protocol creating more and more scarcity, buying and burning from the public market. Mr. Prove, a token that can never inflate, only become more scarce. Now, the only thing I would say about that is that one would hope that it's a fairly, you'd need quite a bit of, viral application because you want a fairly aggressive burning on a token. I think the burning rate is actually very important. Obviously, you can, at the moment we've got PulseX burn at about 8.12% based on GoPulse numbers. But you could arguably, you want I think it's probably more about the tempo of burning. And also, obviously, if you have a pretty high burn, you get up to 95% plus, depending on the market conditions. Even at 99%, some coins may still have quite a bit of volatility. So interesting thoughts there. All right, let's get to the actual results. So we're sitting with about 3 hours to go, and we're sitting at 1.966 million after 6 days. So yeah, 39.32 billion points. Remember, it's 1 at the moment. We're in this first phase here for 21 days, and it runs through to the 2nd of December. And that is $1 equals 10,000 points. Plus, we're in the volume ranking. So you get it up to a 3x bonus, depending on where you are in the volume ranking there as well. So that is the rate right now. Now, eventually, once we get to the 3rd of December, it's going to start increasing the base rate by 6.25%. And just that's additive, so it just adds on to each other and gets more expensive. By the time we end that period, which is on the day 54 on the 4th of January, so in the new year, which we know is always a pretty quiet period in there, then it's going to be $7.40 basically for the base rate. So you definitely want to get in this early period. And what we suspect is that, particularly in the last couple of days, and especially the last day, we could see some pretty big volatility in the old PulseChain there. This seems inevitable. Be very surprising if that doesn't occur, because people, saying, "Oh, I'm going to get in." I'm already seeing, because even yesterday, I already saw some sentiment changes in the PulseChain community. And they were, also people was talking about, I might sack a little bit here. I've changed my mind. I might, do a little bit with, so Rack and Rochelle changed their mind. I've seen other people as well. So we are already getting a little bit of that little sentiment change. It's pretty predictable sort of psychology. And then, the last couple of days there, we might see a bit of volatility coming into the beginning of December. And then after that, PulseChain could rally out of that. We'll be seeing. Normally the first couple of days, so like 3 to 5 days, we'll also see the latecomers. They go, I wish I had sacked, but I better get in now before the rate really starts running away. So we get a little bit of that. And it's just the next couple of days after that. And then typically it falls away, right? Falls away after that because people don't want to get paid too much there as well. And remember, when you do play a high base rate, you're also competing with the big whales, right, who get all that 3x bonus, and they are setting the market price. And even with PulseChain right now, we see that even the Rackham Shells of the world technically are based on US dollars under halfway, 50% of that value. So, and they said that they're the price setter. So the person at the top of the sacrifice set with the bonus, they are the market price, right? Because they'll be in the money, right? They'll be in the break even there. Now, the top mover at the moment is number one here, and they are up 321,000, and they've been climbing like a real trooper. And they kind of came out of nowhere, or did they? Did they come out of nowhere, or did they? We'll talk about that in a minute. Then we've got number two wallet, which is 51,000. I believe this is Rackham Rochelle, number two here, and then number three is 40K, and then we have 4 accounts that are over 30K, and then a couple of 20,000 accounts in the top 10. So if you want to get in top 10, got to be $20,760 at the moment or more. At the moment, we see that predominantly on the Ethereum chain. A little bit of Solana there, admitting at number 6, but otherwise on the Ethereum there. We're at 1.966. But let's get into some of these top players on the leaderboard. And so we've got Chairman Buck. Chairman Buck here says, hey guys, this is Buck Amenals from I think the famous team, isn't it? I think it's famous team. Guys, this is the official Twitter X for our upcoming ProveX sack pool. So they've got a sack pool going on there, official website there and all that. I don't know, he says it's not up yet, but let's quickly check it. This was the other day. Probably it should be up by now. Richard Hart's ProveX sack will have a volume bonus of 3x for whales. And up from 2.5x. Pooling is essential to maximize the bonus, and you want to be the market maker, right? If you're the top of the whales, you're the market maker in the sense you're market maker in the sense that you're the break-even price, so it gives you a little bit of power because you can dump a profit, I guess. Multiplier there 2.83x at the moment. So, and these are all the people that are participating in that. So if you want to do that, you can. The Magic 369 team used to do this sort of thing, right? So you can participate with them, and that is the pool address there. What else? Yeah, so that's where at the moment you can see they got the sacrifice 321,000, which matches what we see here, right? 321,000. So they are the top dog ProveX pool, and it's a community effort there. Follow Buckamentals, etc. So there we go. Only way I'd sack. So power with the people, as it were. All right, so that is from Buck. Now they have a bit more details about that. What's that there? I actually don't think we're as splintered as people think. At least from what I can see, I suspect that a small faction is just as very loud and grumpy. So there we go. Talking about some comments. If you're interested in ProveX, make sure to check out our pool. So they got the pool at the moment. Chairman, we will walk through the bull and bear for Richard Hart ProveX sacrifice. We invite opinions, so they had a nice little X space on that. Richard Hart's ProveX sacrifice. Go check that out as well. ProveX pool says we are currently in first place with 200K. Well, that's now even higher, right? It's now at 321K. Sack for PulseX, with much more coming in the 16 days. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So they're on the move there. Chairman Buck says 13 hours ago, does your sack pool have a team with a consistent track work of execution, keeping promises and timeliness? Good if they do. Do they have an expertise of automation, high frequency trading, advanced computer science? Who do you trust to get your tokens fast as possible? Find out more. Now, this is what I said yesterday. Remember what I said yesterday? Is that there's very little true DeFi around. Very, very little of it. Now, PulseChain, we're kind of known as a DeFi chain, and that's really a spectrum, right? Because the other end of the spectrum is so false, right? It's CeFi and fake DeFi, like Uniswap and places like that, right? So it's relative to that. But, it's a lot of the DeFi that we deal with is as good as the people that we're dealing with, right? And, recently we were seeing a bad actor on PulseChain. We see other bad actors doing lots of lots of things out there. So, it's only, you got to make a judgment. It's just like in life, you have to make judgment about people and projects teams as well. Now, they obviously have quite a good track record, and you can decide whether you agree with that or not. And that's what they're running at the moment. So it's, there we go. What else? What do they got there? 8 hours ago, Richard Hart could drop new details about ProveX at any point and cause a frenzy or outrage. That's true. That could happen. Have you thought through the scenarios in your game plan? We've spent some time and effort to think through and have the current sacrifice pools lead at number one in preparation for anything. And of course, he's talked through this with OGs and whales across the community. And now I'm asking you to join us. So they're a big call out there for people to join them. And of course, you join them based on their reputation. And then once again, it's not real DeFi, is it? Because you got the middleman, which is the whole reason for a ProveX there. But you can decide ultimately. I mean, they do have a reputation, and that's what you're going in on, right? So that is the one there. So I'll post a link to that in the chat there. You guys can check it out at your own time, own volition. So that is the Buckamentals. Hey, we got Hog in the house there. Good morning, everybody. Big shout with Art with Dog. Great to have PulseChain's anime series in the house. Pulse of the Fallen, guys, if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. And currently they've got an interim series, the Chronicles of Hog, Somi, and Andrew Tate. So you got to check that out as well. 3 episodes out of 6 are out so far. So go check out Art with Dog on X. All right. Or you can see them in the Monster thread. They're in the Monster thread as well. So check that out too. All right, so that is from Chairman Buck, Chairman Buck. So that is pretty cool, but nice idea. It's good to see pools. I mean, pools worked for the PulseX sacrifice with the Magic Carpet Ride 369 team, Triple Dad and the crew. Now that has brought in a bit of competition because Rackham Rochelle, of course, the big consortium whale for PulseChain and PulseX, the number one. And they spent something like minimum, maybe around $80 million, maybe more, 100 million with secondary accounts across PulseChain and PulseX sacrifices. I've been the number one sacrificer twice. Pulse and PulseX is Rackham. Everyone who joined me back then walked away with free money, period. ProveX is next. I'll take the top spot again if I want. There's some fighting words there. Here's the crazy part. I choose who joins me, and they get big money just for showing up. There we go. Free money to whoever I choose. How cool is that? Of course, if I decide to do something like this, it would be legal and fully compliant. Got to think this one through. Who deserves a little favoritism, and who did I give unfair advantage to? Hate, deny, or scream below. So there we go. That is from Rackham. What free money? I brand Joshua Wu. So yeah, I mean, don't forget that Rackham's got Coinwell coming up as well. So Coinwell is, we've got the golden ticket there. Look at that, Rackham sacrifice pool. So it's the golden? I guess it's not. It's a little bit demurred. So that's in the play right now. So we've got a little bit of a battle, but it gets even more, guys. Gets even more. So we got 15 hours ago. Look at this cute little group of dudes trying to take my number one spot. In other words, talking about the top wallet here that we just talked about with Buck. So there we go. There's a little bit of competition going on, and trying to take my number one spot. So we'll see what happens in that space with that. So we've got more posts around it. Competition is heating up. You can legally run a pool. Just call it a sacrifice for a sacrifice. Like that. So there we go. There's the monster thread too. You can find out more people in there. All right. So if you haven't, did we go through the monster thread? I don't think we did. So we might do that too. Let's do it later on. We're going to do that later on. So that is from Rackham Michelle. So some fighting words going on there, guys, from the Rackham Michelle. So we'll see where we're going here. Now we also had Crypto Solve, which is one of the 3 analytical influencers on PulseChain that we often follow. Funniest thing about this ProveX sacrifice is watching Bunkermentals bait Rackham Michelle there into making a sacrifice purely to stroke his own ego. It'll just be capital recycled up from dumping the ecosystem, but it'll still be entertaining to watch nonetheless. The way that ProveX pool is shaping up so far, it looks like Rackham might have to stump up 7 figures. The last few days of the bonding period prior to the rate increase stand to be highly entertaining. That's what we said about the end here, talking about particularly this part here. So yeah, we'll see what happens there with that. So yeah, we will see there. Maybe Rackham has to ape 5 million to take first spot, says Team One there. All right, so that is some of the drama, high drama on the old ProveX sacrificer right now. We also have Crypto Solve talking about the hex that's moving around. Lots of fear surrounding these movements on X today. This is one of a number of connected wallets which has 4 billion hex between liquid and stakes. They're probably just redistributing their supply to new wallets. 4 billion hex sounds scary, right? They must be a bad player, right? What if we told you they barely sell a dime? A couple of grand every few weeks. Pointless panic over a set of wallets that have near zero impact on the charts. They're clearly here for the long haul. So that is from Crypto Solve. So if you've seen that around the X moving around. Now 4 billion is pretty high given where we see supply these days. So I'm not sure whether that's an OA wallet of some form or that's a pretty high amount. Seems pretty disproportional. So yeah, I'm not sure what the background behind that one is. Pretty high though relative to supply. We've got about 40. I think it's 40 on PulseChain, about 46 billion. I think. Yeah, I'd be surprised that there's many individuals with that much hex running around, unless they were a long player and big pockets and they accumulated that early players as well. Pretty interesting though about that. So there we go. That is some of the drama right there. So yeah, ProveX there is on the move. So we've got a bit of a battle for number 1 and 2 spots there at the moment. So we'll keep a lookout for that. We may also get some more players coming in the meantime, and maybe if Richard Hart streams and we get some little surprises along the way, that could really ratchet things up as well. Now a recent there, we've got Ethereum at the moment, $1.6 million. So out of the 1.966, so that's actually gapping. So it's kind of interesting. We are seeing the gapping probably because of the buckamentals there in the pool. We've definitely got PulseChain at the moment ramping up there to 180k, and that's been this wasn't the case the first day or so. So this is really starting to ramp up there. BSC at the 44k, and we got the base at 42, Solana at 41. So we're starting to slowly lift up, aren't they? Then we've got Arbitrum at 22, Bitcoin at 15, Polygon at 4.5, Optimism at $1,600, Avalanche at 1,000, Ripple below 1,000. Dogecoin $500, Sonic $500, and then Monero, Tron, Cardano, Dash, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, all pretty tiny, all the way down to the bottom here. A couple of zeros there on that. So that is where we are right now with the day 6 sacrifice. We've still got a couple of hours to go by my count since Richard launched it. So we've still got just, what's it, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, maybe 2 hours of it, 12, 1, 2, yeah, 3 hours to go. So obviously on the clock it's only got an hour or so to go, but that's because Richard must have posted it after the clock was already running. So that's kind of where we are here on the mark. So we're getting closer. So slowly, yeah, we're going to have a lot of entertaining times. Like we do expect PulseChain to be relatively volatile here through here, and particularly around this end date. And I think, even though we'll get some sacrifices towards the early couple of days, I don't think it's going to be quite as dramatic, and then taper off after that. Yeah. So, December could be quite the strong pickup there in the old PulseChain after all said and done, after that 2nd of December event, or at least a couple of days after, if not. But probably the 2nd is probably a pretty good day. But it's going to be entertaining. Are you not entertained? That's all we can say about that. Are you not entertained? So that's ProveX right now, kicking it in. All right, so kind of cool. What else are we going to say? We've got the monster thread, so we're going to go through that. So we're on 48 minutes on the hour, so we'll go through that. And let's see where we're up on this one. So weekly monster thread number 28. So big shout out to MVS Crypto, the editor-in-chief of the monster thread, and also the promotional lead for the Crypto Night show. So big shout out to him. Does a lot of hard work around that. And 28 weeks, guys. It's pretty awesome. PulseChain sacrifice, or Richard sacrifice, I should say. Twins blessings. We'll check out what that means. PulseChain Studios and much more. There we go. Follow the Crypto Night show for daily shows and market updates. So the hottest news for PulseChain: Richard's ProveX sacrifice goes live with more contests and cash prizes for the best website and marketing ideas. Obviously, a couple of tens of thousands there given out. We got the ProveX website there back when it was posted just yesterday. The first one is support for builders. So we got Pulse Somebody, one of the community members there. She had a list showing support to all of the builders, streamers, and positive contributors to PulseChain, tagging the crypto community. So let's have a quick look at that post. You can see a long list of teams and influencers in there, and so on. So you'll typically find that PulseChain's only large daily influencer that covers PulseChain never gets in on any of these lists. Have you noticed that? Not on one list one time. And yet I'm the only large PulseChain influencer that does daily shows. How about that? This is the way it is. Consistently, right? So consistently. But it is what it is. And we stay humble. All right, so jokes aside, PulseChain stats updates. PulseChain stats set adds new portfolio design, giving users more details than ever with full PulseChain support, including over 18 protocols and 5,000 plus tokens. So that's really terrific. A lot of people have been asking me about good portfolio, and obviously this has got to be one of the front runners now with the old PulseChain stats. So if you haven't checked out that, you want a good multi-chain portfolio manager, then that's the place to go, right? So very, very cool from PulseChain stats. Talking with the Greys, RH Max and Prairie Banana went live on PulseChain Builders. Would go brr, was it brr, something like that? And of course with the Greys as well, to talk about PDC ecosystem. Now obviously that's been one of our blue chips. It's a big DAO, but the price has been pushed right down. And of course, PulseChain's going down as well, so it's not helping them. But they've been, their tokenomics has been, I think, taking a lot of coins off the market, and so it's got a lot of that stuff has been playing out pretty positively. So that was a cool session. Check that out. Twins on the way. So this is we were getting a bit of a people story here on the old PulseChain. Freedom shared a beautiful post. So Freedom there. Once I got the post there, shared a beautiful post celebrating twins on the way and getting a lot of love from the community. Coincidentally, Hex Turbo and Hexagon Girl. So if you don't know, they're married there. Are also celebrating twins on the way. Congratulations to both couples. So how about that? And this is such a cute little picture. It's got the little baby's hand there, one of the babies. Baby PulseChain waves hello to the community. Well, it's hello parents as well, but you can be a bit friendly there. So it's very cute. A new Pulsekin in the womb there, just waving hello. How about that? You can't do much better than that, right? That's very, very beautiful. So there we go. Shout out to the new dads and mums, indeed. Validated secret source there, David Feder, of course, dominating the hardware and supply for validators on PulseChain. I think well over, was it 60%, something like that. David Feder shares the secret source behind thousands of PulseChain validators, going from newbie to node hero in hours. So you got to check out David Feder. Big shout out to him. He's also doing weekday shows now, presumably consistently, and so big shout out to him on that. PulseCoin list Hyperlane bridge, PulseCoin list Pulse Swap. So if you're not familiar, PulseCoin list not only is an information site, but also has a Pulse Swap, its own swapping site there. Bridged USDC via Hyperlane without fees. So it's an incorporated Hyperlane now. So you can actually bridge fees without bridge USDC without fees. Bridge effortlessly to and from PulseChain and between Ethereum, Arbitrum, Polygon, Optimism, Base, and Avalanche on a Pulse Swap there. So that's what you can do. Message to holders. Crypto Coffee sends a message to XLP. Zcash is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, and Solana holders. So trying to reach out using his large influence and algorithmic ranking to onboard more people to PulseChain, which is pretty cool. So that was from Crypto Coffee. I think we got that post here with the little video. So he's out there working hard. He's been working pretty hard lately, actually, for PulseChain community. And we got Lighten Up PulseChain. Fast Abdul joined Joshua Wu live with Coconut Kai, Your Mum, and Slime Whale. And they got a cool, fun little look at that dress up thing going on there. So is it a bit of a Willy Wonka's? I'm not sure, but Willy Wonka's on Fast Abdul's side anyway. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm not actually sure what character they're wearing. It's not Toolman Taylor, but it's is it Mario Brothers or something? I don't know, but they all look very, very fine and dandy in their outfit. It's amazing how many of them have got the outfit though. Isn't that crazy? So I'm not sure how that all works, but they all seem to have the outfit there. Hex Q3 reports of Ben Sierra. We talked about Crypto Soul being one of our three, analytical influencers. Well, Ben Sierra is another one. He does the Hex reports, and he's released a 4-part Hex report for Q3, quarter 3. So big shout out to Ben there. They're working always hard there. Ramp now in America. Go hardcore. Official ramp now is live in the USA and starts promoting Hex on PulseChain, as highlighted by Super Hexwin. Of course, Super Hex there, one of the PulseChain influencers that does things a little different from others, and he's been on TikTok blowing up and all things like that, so does his thing. We got 555 Guardian Spaces, Zero Trustless, held in X Spaces titled 555 Guardians Present Zero, Zen and all things trustless, with crypto community appearances from a number of participants, including Gerardo. We also got Switch Don't Swap, Brandon Switch. Of course, Switch just recently added PulseChain, right? So you can swap a lot of stuff on Switch now, which is really cool. It's a groovy swapping site. Now provides switching services for Pulse, Ethereum, and Base Chain. Substantial upgrades are coming very soon for all chains as well. So, never asleep, as old Brandon there, working hard there. Now, new PulseChain Studios. I am Zero Trust. PulseChain Studios now assembling, looking for artists, animators, AI creators, editors, I should say, musicians, and movement actors to help bring their movie Zero Enemy to life, which I believe is going to be based around PulseChain. You can see the picture there. Coming summer 2026, the Zero Media film in association with PulseChain Studios there. Now, presumably that is American time because, it's coming up for summer for us already. So there it is. No war, no pressure, just the end of control. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Liberty Liquidity Hub, of course, deployed PDI Liquidity Hub on PulseChain and wrapped ETH to PulseChain to ETH mainnet. That's a really big deal. So we're looking forward to that, increase there. I saw Liberty Swap talking about 30 Ethereum came over the bridge today from that. So that's pretty cool. I think maybe from themselves, I'm not sure, but certainly was positive. And that's really huge because, a lot of people want to bring ETH over to PulseChain and they want it real fast. And that's now they can do it through Liberty Swap. Pretty cool. They also got the PDI Liberty Liquidity Hub as well. So the PDI community is super stoked about that. And this is the first of two stages, I understand. The next stage will be a layer 0, which will help the ARB bots get kicking in the gear. And maybe you'll get to PDI to $1. And of course, the burn ramps up as well. So that's something to look out for there. The old Liberty Liquidity Hub. If you want to find out more details about that, check out Decentralize Me on X, and he's talking all about that. Internet Money on Treasure. Internet Money shares their appreciation for Treasure after getting listed on their official website. Isn't that cool? I think that's really, really neat. So, PulseChain is starting to make a few waves. The Internet Money has been really leading the way. They've been getting a lot of recognition from big market players, in the spaces with KuCoin, Change Now, and things like that. So Internet Money continued to ramp up there. And of course, they had the big Matt Wallace there with 2.3 million followers on X, is now an advocate or an ambassador for the Internet Money. So really, really exciting to see that. I think once PulseChain gets, recovers off the bottom, this will get probably hyper revalued, as my guess on the old Internet Money. Definitely one of our blue chips on PulseChain. So hooray, hooray, hooray about that. I think that's all we can say. So that's pretty cool. So big shout out to KG and the team. And that's the end of the Monster 3 for week number 28. Those are the highlight stories that happened on PulseChain for the week 28. We do have some honorable mentions though. We got Vic on Profit there, launched a Veterans Day token launch. So was launched as well. Somi summarized a couple of the key things happening on PulseChain recently. Interesting moves on PulseChain, so it's worth checking out as well. B-Roots compared the PulseChain sacrifice for 2021 with the ProveX sacrifice of 2025, at least at a certain point in time. So it's worth checking out there as well. Your Matic also did a macro update, and of course that is Kareem the Dream. Did a macro update in Old Hex Wisdom there, so it's worth checking out as well. And then Trevor Connors is doing this challenge from $100 to $1 million. So it's pretty cool. Can make a TV show out of that, right? Make a TV show. Week number 60 there. So it goes, the ups and downs of trying to achieve, to $1,000. So apparently started with 100. So a pretty awesome challenge. And then, of course, in the Monster thread, we have a lot of insiders, and we got Heartwood Dog. Of course, they're doing amazing on PulseChain. I think we're so lucky to have them on PulseChain, honestly, doing anime series for PulseChain. And, we've got Rhinify as well, also leading the way with kind of treasuries as well. We talked about a few others out there that are also doing treasuries. but this one's a little bit unique the way they do it on the 28-day cycle. I like that a lot, so we're going to keep a tab on the Rhinofine. We're checking out both of these project teams, Heartwood Dog and Rhinofine, with the Hog and Rhino token. So check them out, guys, and they're both amazing communities, and so they're real role models in my view for what a lot of communities should do. These two teams are AAA, let's say AAA. Community spotlights, of course, we've got that highlighting some of the cool things that people are doing. PulseChain metrics, some of the metrics as well, and of course project shoutouts. So let's go quickly look at episode 1 to 3 here from the takes. So you can check that out. Chronicles of Hog, Somi and Andrew Tate. There's currently the interim series between the Pulse of the Fallen series. We already had season 1, and this is the interim series before season 2. And it is hilarious, guys. You got to watch it. It's got some really funny stuff in it. Well worth checking out. So, yeah, pretty awesome. So 3 episodes out at the moment. A 4th episode is dropping this week. I'm not sure if it's dropped today or if it's dropping up next couple of days, but keep your tabs on that. And, of course, they have their Hog token as well. You can check out and accumulate some of that. But I do encourage you to all join their Telegram group. And, it's a great place to be. They've got a great bunch of people. And so, yeah, pretty awesome. Look at that. That's got this video down the bottom, by the way, is all 3 episodes in one. So it's pretty special. So check it out. What else there? We got Rhino 5, of course. Talked about that being a pretty special treasury. I call it a modified treasury. 28-day cycle blitz there, and you do earn pulse reward. You earn pulse rewards just while holding. You don't have to stake or anything. It's kind of neat, and it's got big burns going as well. But this is operating really, really well. So check out the old Rhino there, and they got a cool video at the moment. It's kind of neat. All right, then we got Community Spotlight. So we got a few people on the list there. We got Khalid on crypto, Saint Wolf, Vision, RH Max, and Fast Abdul. So 4 influencers there, amongst many influencers there that have been recognized in the monster. Pretty cool. Once again, I didn't make it on the list. There we go. We got the daily live show. So check out all the socials there for the crypto show. It does include some of the top information sites as well. But yeah, if you haven't joined Strategy Club, I strongly encourage you to join that. It's only $35 a month, so just over $1 a day to join our Strategy Club in Discord. We'll see you there. And also we've got community membership there as well, which I think is $12.50 or $15, something like that. So you can decide. But see you in the Strategy Club. And then finally, we've got we've got PulseChain metrics and some highlights there. So yesterday, TVL was 172 million, almost 173 million on PulseChain. Obviously, we've come down a little bit since then with the pullback a bit further. Almost 1.5 million wallets so far on PulseChain, and daily average daily transactions 409,000. We've had an all-time high of 670,000. Average fees around about 363 million Pulse a day, and the stablecoin market on PulseChain, including liquidity forks, is around $55 million at the moment. So obviously we want that to boom. And that's some of the key metrics there. Pretty cool. We also got the holders as well. So if you want to be a holder, we've got the leagues, right? If you want to work out how much pulse you need, and then you can work it out here. Typically, like a dolphin, you'll need 1.5 billion pulse from the looks of it, based on these numbers. And a squid, you need 150 million to be a squid. So it gives you a bit of an idea of what some of the leagues are like. And then finally, we've got some shout outs to some of the teams as well. Curve token, so check that out as well. We've got IndieKin Official, which is a movie maker with I think it's Tom, isn't it? Tom, yeah. And then we got Curve there as well. Curve on the move there. Premier Dex aggregator. And then finally we got Bannon Massic there as well with the NFT collection there. So we've got a few shout outs there to a couple of the project teams that are out about on PulseChain. So pretty cool. That is the monster thread. So not bad. So I hope you guys check it out. Don't forget, if you're busy during the week, it's a great read because you can catch up everything on PulseChain, and also you can share it to new onboards, right? So if you want to, how do people learn about PulseChain? Well, just the monster thread, right? Because it's got all the latest weekly news for the last 28 weeks, for goodness sake. So it's huge. So monster thread 28, and I'm going to post that in the chat there. Bam. And bam. Let me just copy that as well. And that is the monster thread. So share it around. Sharing is caring, as they say. And you can, of course, read it in your own time as well. There it is, the link. Monster thread number 28. Big shout out to MVS Crypto. Great job again for 28 weeks. bring on the next, was it 24 weeks? Because that would make 1 year, right? One year. All right, so let's jump into the stream now. I'm just going to post it underneath the live stream as well, and people can check that out. Bam. All right, there we go. So if you're watching on X, just click underneath. You'll see the comments, and there will be the monster thread. Not bad. Now, I was going to check out one last thing, wasn't I? Liberty Swap. I think we're going to go have a quick look at Liberty Swap. So let's have a look at some of the stuff they've been doing. Now, remember, they've got coming up for the rest of the roadmap. So they've ticked off this. They've done all this. They purchased a lot of Pulse with a couple $100,000. They launched the Pulse routes on the 8th. They launched the PDI routes on the 15th. They launched the wrapped ETH there as well, peers. Pretty big deal, that one, I think. And then coming up on the 30th, they got Railgun to PulseChain bridge. That is really huge. And they earn more fees, right, from all these, right? I think with exclusion of PDI, possibly. Maybe on the pools they earn it. Yeah, they earn more fees. And Railgun could potentially be huge as well on PulseChain, an operational one, that is, one that actually operates. So that is the backdrop of November. And so, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff there. Mr. Rackshell, please unblock me over an application. I don't know. There's some stuff there. Sack it all, they say. So, they're supposed to be sacrificing as well, right? Is Liberty Swap. So presumably that's going to start today or tomorrow, because I said 15 days. So presumably that's starting today or tomorrow. I haven't seen anything about it in particular. They've talked about sacrificing, but I'm not quite sure what they're going to do there with that. So based on these lists here, but we'll keep you posted. Maybe tomorrow we might have some information about that. But they're going to use fees for 15 days to boost that up. So we'll see what happens there. All right, that is pretty much where we are on the markets. Hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. We're up to 1 hour and 6 minutes, and yeah, we're just past midday here in New Zealand. And what time is it? Yeah, it's 12:20. No, 12 past 12. 12 past 12. Tuesday, the 18th of November here in New Zealand. We're essentially at the frontier of time and space. Yeah, you got it. And if the AI was it A3 Atlas comes, then we'll be the first ones to be invaded from the aliens, and that would be fun. That'll be fun. Good times. So we're pretty innovative down here in New Zealand. Well, at least the Kiwis are, and or some Kiwis. But we could we'd probably be the first line of defense, creating some really innovative laser weapons. In fact, we got our own. We got what do we got? We got Rocket Lab down here. That's rockets. We got what else? We got another one in the South Island. I think it's also making some rockets. We got some hypersonics as well. It's for a little country. We kind of bad out of our league, really. We got a lot of crazy people here, though. But that's the other. We didn't used to. We used to have really good normal people, and now they're all gone crazy. Yeah. What else we got? We got. I think that's it, guys. I think I went through the list. I think that was it. But we got our own space stuff, and I'm sure we could do some stuff with that. Put a few. No, I've been on to say that. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show. That is it for today. So stock market was down, crypto was down, PulseChain's down a little bit. ProveX is going up. Sacrifice money. The sacrifices always seem to win, don't you notice that? That's the trend. Sacrifices do really well. There's lots of money goes in there. Everyone's going to start their own sacrifices again. There'll be a whole second round of sacrifices. It seems to be a very profitable business. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Don't forget to follow on X. Check out the Monster Thread, week number 28. And yeah, if you're having a good time on PulseChain, then you're probably in the Discord. So join up to our Discord. Links in the video description, and of course posted at the top of X. Until then, I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you then. All right, take care. Bye for now.